Welcome to another video. This is yours truly. And before I start, it is very windy and cool and a little warm outside. It's a nice spring day. Yeah, the wind's picking up. It's blowing. It's very freezing, and it was like this last night. It was just as cold and freezing and windy last night. Went outside to put the car cover over my car. Yeah, so it's a nice day outside. Show this. Yeah, really, really nice outside. It's a gorgeous day. Okay, before I get into this video, um, I discovered a YouTube channel. It's about life in France. The title of this YouTube channel is titled "Oui in France." I think that's how it's said. It's a channel that's ran by a woman from New Jersey. She's living abroad in France, and I saw one of her videos, and I watched this video about driving in France, and saw how driving in France is. Parking spaces and parking lots are car parks with parking kiosks where you pay with a debit card or with euro coins. Um, Parking in parking buildings. Um, Driving on the autoroutes in France. The autoroutes are just basically the equivalent of interstate highways slash freeways, expressways here in America. But the autoroutes have a lot of toll plazas where you drive through and pay pay to drive on them. To take care of to eliminate roads in France from cracks and potholes. Basically, just getting money from the public at toll plazas to use to maintain and fix up the roads and make them look nice so they won't have any cracks and potholes on them. And yeah, and I saw the road signs. I'm no stranger to all of this stuff in France because I saw all of this stuff in previous videos about France. Um, yeah. Also I've been learning some French. I mean, learned this French word from this woman from Oli in France on her YouTube channel, and it goes like this: Auto, all français, autoroute, all français, autoroute. Meaning, that's French for French auto routes. And also I know this. Salut, je m'appelle Rashad. Bonjour, bonsoir, au revoir, comment ça va? And that's basically all I know. Yeah, so I got a lot to learn on the French language. I haven't been learning French lately. I've been busy, but I need to take this very, very seriously. And in one of those videos from that woman's YouTube channel about France. So yeah, enough dilly daddling. Let me get into this video. I'll just start out and say this. On to the video, and hope you guys like the flowers. Okay, Darren Chauvin, the guy that murdered George Floyd by putting his knee on the neck of George Floyd, kneeling on his neck, as George Floyd said this: "I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, and just squeezed the life out of him and just killed him. Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis police officer who was responsible for George Floyd's death, was found guilty of murder. 3 counts of manslaughter, um, other charges, guilty of charge. He was handcuffed in the courtroom, and I think in somewhere in Minneapolis, and he was led out. So he's found guilty of murder, of murdering George Floyd. And he answered to his crime. He answered to his crime. You know, and, it was a great day for black people, people in America, and people all over the world who experience racism. At the hands of the police. Police murdering people. The life of a black person doesn't matter, but a life of a black person does matter, and it does. So yeah, it was a good sign, but po- policing in America by American police isn't gonna change anytime soon. Got a long way to go on this. So, but what I really want to talk about in this video is um I live in Texas, and you got the police. Some police officers, not all of them, have a superiority complex slash ego, and they're arrogant, and they put down other countries. Like for instance, like someone from another country compared the police in their country to the police in America, and you got some American cops who have the nerve to come out and just belittle that person, just put that person down with their knowledge, their ego slash superiority complex and arrogance, and tell them they need to learn about how police in America are, how the laws are, and they won't bother like learning about things in other countries, and you're gonna see this. I'm gonna read some comments. One from a hardcore Texas patriot and a police officer, both from Texas, by the way. Okay, this is from these comments is from a video on YouTube, on a YouTube channel, and this video is titled "DUI Stop, Highway Patrol DPS Trooper Doesn't Like Questions and Drives Off." And when I got in that video that I watch, a police officer pulls someone over for a suspected DUI, having a suspicion that they were drunk. As this person was filming this, the police officer, a highway patrolman, by the way, as this person filmed this police officer conducting the DUI stop, checking the guy, seeing that he's intoxicated or not. Then after the traffic stop was over, and the guy had the guy sign the police officer had the guy sign some papers and just let him be on his way. The guy who filmed the traffic stop, when he went to the police officer and asked him a question, the police officer had the window down, and the police officer looked at the guy who was asking him the question, and he just weirdly like just rolled the window up on his police cruiser and drove off. And I find that to be rude. So in the comment section, I call this police officer a clown, and the state highway patrol or the state police of Texas, and just bashed them and ripped them apart for how they are. They're responsible for like beating up women, having a tyrannical dictatorship to the public, anything that you can imagine. And I ate this police officer up in his police agency. And I got some comments. I got some comments from two Texans. One of them is a police officer, by the way. Here's the first comment, and I think I read this in a previous video. This is from Lacking Operator. This is his reply to my comment. I deleted the comment from the video because I'm tired of these people, like these Texas people, coming at me and putting me down because I put down their state and their people. Okay, this is a comment from Lacking Operator, and Lacking Operator responds, "Really, dude? First off, Texas Highway Patrol trooper. Dude, learn what that is. Second off, if you live in Texas, then you should not diss your own state. Third off, don't diss law enforcement. They keep you safe and everyone else safe, so I don't want to hear it. Last, you are not on that traffic stop, so don't think you know everything." So, well, I don't know everything, and I watched the video, and I have the right to respond. And second off, you said I shouldn't diss law enforcement because they are keeping me safe. Well, yeah, I can't so you want me to respect a police officer who put his knee on the neck of someone and squeezed the life out of him and killed him? Do you want me to respect a police officer who shoots someone, shoot and kill someone who's running away from him? Do you want me to respect a police officer who shot and killed an unarmed teenager in Chicago? You want me to respect that? No. First of all, I'm gonna say this. I don't hate law enforcement. I don't hate the police. I just don't like how some officers treat people. You got good police officers and you got bad police officers. The bad ones are the ones that do wrong and they treat people wrong. And they do. I'm going to go into this a little more when I read the second comment, this time from a police officer. Okay. Here's the comment. Here's another reply. This is from the police officer. His name is Charles Eagleheart. I think that's his name. And he says this: he is under no obligation to give you Let me start over again. He is under no obligation to give any information to you. Troopers have a more difficult academic standard as well as righteousness training. The only clown related issue I see is you in your post. Maybe follow the law, and you won't have a strong dislike officers and what they do. Have a blessed day. Um, I follow the law, and I do. Yeah, I broke the law like several times, for speeding. I remember I was speeding on the freeway, and I was so tired because I was working at Walmart. This is when I had a job. This was back in 2012, and Walmart was working me like a dog. They worked me really hard. I was so tired, and I was driving home. This was like at 1 in the morning. I worked from 4 p.m. to 1 in the morning, and as I was coming home, um, I was driving on the freeway, and I saw two highway patrolmen on the side of the road near a tow truck, and I moved on to the fast lane or overtaking lane to overtake them to avoid like driving near them or hitting them. Okay, I moved out. Okay, I did that. Then after that I moved back into the slow lane. Yeah, I had to get out of I had to move out of the slow lane onto the fast lane to keep from hitting them to avoid hitting them. Okay, after that I moved back into the fast lane, and all of a sudden I saw a car coming up behind me. No headlights or nothing. And all of a sudden these red and blue lights start flashing, and the headlights popped on the car, and I noticed I was being pulled over by a police officer. As I was pulled over by a highway patrolman. The same, he was one of the same cops who were on the side of the road with the tow truck who who avoid hitting them by moving onto the fast lane. But I broke a law called the stationary vehicle law, where if you stay in the slow lane, you go past if you go past a police car or emergency vehicle on the side of the road, or that's parked on the hard shoulder or the breakdown lane. If you just drive past them, you have broken the stationary vehicle law, and you will be given a traffic ticket. How much it is, and if you want to take care of the ticket, you go to defense driving school. And I ended up going to the defense driving school because of that, and my dad helped me out on that. The cop who pulled me over for that, the stationary for me breaking the stationary vehicle law, he was an asshole. He didn't care. He treated me like crap and all of that. Yeah, and also, in the past, I was nearly ran over by a highway cop. Um, I was smarted off by one at a road construction site. Um, I was belittled and chewed out by a firefighter who told me that one of his firefighters said that I almost ran them over, which I didn't. I didn't run them over at all. I was driving on the left side of the road, and the firefighter was standing on the right side of the road. So I didn't try to run him over, but he lied and said I almost ran him over. So yeah. So what that police officer is saying, he doesn't have a clue how bad first responders are. He assumes that I'm supposed to respect them regardless of how bad they treat me. And he's accusing me of me being a law breaking troublemaker, which I'm not. I mean, obeying the law here in Texas is kind of confusing. And I try. I'm willing to obey the law, and I'm not gonna break the law. I'm all about obeying the law. But the laws here are just don't make any sense, and they're just confusing. But to them, to police officers here, to this guy who responded to me in this comment that I just read, to him, ignorance of the law is no excuse. And if you belittle and talk bad and bash the police officers who do you wrong, you're a clown. You're the real clown. So, I did something that was so ingenious, that was so, not so ingenious, but so genius like. I created a fake account to respond to this guy. So I have my comment of the fake account, then I have his reply. I'm going to read those. Hold on a second. Okay, this is a reply from Lacking Operator. And I responded to his comment with the fake account. And here's my comment to him, a reply to what he said to my real account, real YouTube Google account. And I say this to him in a reply. It seems to me you are ignorant on what makes a police officer a police officer. You view them as machines than real people. When a police officer takes off the uniform after being bullied, after being on duty, he/she are just another person. People like you who care about cops keeping you safe and them being from Texas is more important than them being a normal person under the uniform. Honestly, it is kind of strange that people like you have a bizarre obsession with cops being from Texas. Learn what they are and never disrespect them because they are from Texas. To be honest, you don't really care about these Texas cops at all. You care about them because they are from the state and represent the state. You act like Texas is an independent country than it being part of the United States as a state. Just remember, you are an American first and a Texas citizen second. I respect the police if they are good and they do the right thing. I don't respect bad cops if they do wrong. If you ask me, I think people like you need to see a shrink ASAP because you are TFG, too far gone. I could care less if you don't want to hear what I got to say. You are nothing more than a triggered, mean-spirited snowflake who likes to abuse, tear people down, and walk all over people if they talk negative about a U.S. state that is filled to the brim with so many economic problems that you can never imagine. Okay, yeah. So that was a straightforward comment to Lacking Operator. And here's the comment from Charles Everwright, the police officer. And I say this to him. Here's my reply to him from him replying to me. And I say this. Interesting, Charles. In the UK, you can go on ride-alongs with British cops because the crime rate is low. It is the fact that the United Kingdom has strict gun control and the police aren't on edge. In Britain, people who wish to become police officers must earn a university degree in policing and then undergo 2 years of probationary training to become a police officer. This means that in Britain, it takes roughly the same length of time to train to become a police officer as it does to train to become a junior medical doctor. In Britain, there are an average of less than 5 fatal police shootings of suspects each year. American police are approximately 100 times more likely to use lethal force in a confrontation with a suspect than British police. And I find putting religion in your comment to be very strange. If you say what you just said to New Manchester in your comment to a British person, they will look at you like you are mad. Best luck in the future to you, everyone in Texas and all over the United States, to make things better for everyone. Cheers. Okay. And here is Charles Everhart, the police officer's reply. Here's his reply, and he says this: It's funny that you awesome. You know what I am about. Majority of public servants get into LEO work to be a part of something higher than themselves. No, I am not a machine. I am a living, breathing, imperfect human being. And a police officer is a police officer and should be respected as such, no matter what state they operate in. I am 100% American, which is why citizens started the banner on Let's Secede. I remind them what that entitles. I encourage citizens to take rides along with us. This way, they too know and understand what being a peace officer is. You have so many assumptions show such ignorance. You know nothing. Perhaps you should look who what is required upon obtaining and retaining a license. You also have not enlightened yourself enough on the economic state of Texas's affairs. Perhaps you should stop making assumptions and do some more than 15 minutes of research on the topic. While you're at it, make sure you're not used proven bias research on any topic. UK is not the US and does not nor has ever had an academic allowing or ensuring its citizens to have weapons. So naturally, they won't have the same issues. They just have people getting their heads cut off. Okay. So okay, yeah. Okay, that police officer, the way he was talking, I mean, he said that he's not a machine, he's an imperfect human being. But, it seems to me that he has an ego. He has a superiority complex, and he's arrogant. Funny, like, how can you say that you're an imperfect human being and you have a superiority complex slash ego, and you're arrogant, and you're putting down people who are uneducated? You know, you know, you know, I'm just shocked. There's police officers out there like him. You know, you just can't go around like having an ego. I mean, I mean, you as a police officer. I mean, you gonna have people out there who aren't gonna like you, who gonna hate you. I mean, he doesn't have a clue that people all over America don't view the police in a positive manner. Because, you got police officers like Darren Chauvin running around putting their knees on the necks of people, kneeling on their knees and just squeezing the life out of them and killing them. You got a police officer putting an overweight fat guy in a legal chokehold and choking him out until he's dead. Then you got a police officer shooting and killing a guy as the guy ran away from him. As the guy ran away from the police officer pulls out a gun and shoots and kills him. So this guy, this police officer, Charles Everhart, wants me to respect the police regardless of all the bad things they're doing. Just respect them. The truth is, respect is earned. I got a question for you. Would you respect a bank robber? Would you respect a car thief? Would you respect a murderer? Would you respect a crook stealing money from the people as a politician? Would you respect these people? Of course not. Again, I have nothing against police officers because, my dad is a retired police officer. And I have a brother who died in a car accident who got hit head on by a teenager in a white Buick as he was coming home from work. He was a deputy sheriff. My brother was a deputy sheriff and he got killed. So, I have a late brother who was a police officer, and then I got a dad who's retired, who's a former police officer. And my dad told me stories about life in law enforcement. He told me this. He told me, if you're a police officer, your fellow officers aren't going to care about you. They will stab you in the back. They will walk all over you just to be the best by writing out the most traffic tickets and arresting the most people. And So, there is no love in law enforcement. And my dad told me not to get into law enforcement. He told me not to get into that because it's bad. It's horrible. If I was a police officer today and my partner was Charles Everhart, the comments that I received from that guy in that video, I wouldn't have anything to do with him because I view him as a delusional person who has no idea about police officers doing wrong. Also you got police precincts and police precincts all over the country. Some of them, I don't know, are corrupt. And the police in America, they're occupying armies. They go around, they do wrong, they shoot and kill people. I heard about a police officer killing a little girl. It's just terrible, And I'm just gonna say this, you got bad police officers doing bad, like Derek Chauvin. And those guys have no business being a police officer, period. Because they can't handle the job. They don't know what's right and wrong. And you have some racist police officers, racist bigots in uniform. So I gotta respect. So according to this police officer, I gotta respect the police no matter what they do. It's funny, and he put down the UK and the crime rate in the UK. Yeah, the UK has a high knife crime rate, and that's true. They got stabbings. You know, you got these Americans, they just love to just to tear down other countries and make their country look great, make the US look great. You know, funny, you know. I heard someone say this to people like who put down America. Someone in Australia said this after some American put down Australia's gun laws. And someone in Australia, an Aussie, said this: at least we don't have heaps of mass shootings. And that is so right, you know. Yeah, the American policing, the police in America have issues. They have problems, just like the entire country that has a lot of problems, which is the United States. And yeah, other countries outside of America do have problems, but their problems are not in the extreme as problems here in America. And you know, I'm not for abolishing the police in America. I'm for improving the police in America. And I do have respect for the men and women of law enforcement. I have no respect for the bad apples like Darren Chauvin. So that's all I gotta say in this video. Au revoir.